Hey guys, Dr. Prometheus here, back with some more Warno. We have a 3v3 here. We have Sunman, who's going to be in the middle with this is the 5th Panzer Division. Camdu will be up against us, who is the 8th Infantry Division Mechanized. And then Olnair is going to be the 2nd Panzer Grenadier, and he's going to be on the far right side for us. Davis is going to be in the middle with the 39th. Guards Most Rocky Division. We have the Berliner Grupperung, and on the far right, ODST has the 35th. So we'll see how we can get this. We start with T-55 coming in here. Started using more the 30 mils, which is actually a decent weapon when you're supporting infantry. Mi-8 rockets, just a straight rocket barrage. Couple of this one is with the command actually, so we do cap this early point quickly. We got some Metis, which the plan is to put them in the side of the woods here, so if they advance in this road, the Metis will be able to deal with that. Same thing on this side. We're going to try to push up and see if we can pressure them a bit. So we have some Fallschirmjägers coming up on the left side. Metis are on the right. Without further ado, let's go right into this. We're going to be I'm going to do my perspective because this one gets hot and heavy in the middle, and you can kind of see what we have going on later on in the game and why it looks dire and insane, because there's a lot of units on the board by the end of it. So coming up, we cap the first point. We have a ticking war score 4. We're going to be hitting this one, I think, sooner rather than later. I think his is actually behind a little bit, or he doesn't come in with one in the first. It's BMD2, so he's going to cap that. We're likely going to be the first one to cap our second point. Our US up here with our Fallschirmjäger command is just up here. Mi-8 coming in, so the first thing we see is this Kiowa, and we empty everyone out because we saw this, and it's only an LRS in these woods. So we lose our advantage to be able to go up into this area. I mean, this is only a Hydra. It's already wasted all of its ammo. Falcon comes in, is going for the rocket. And, well, it's going to take it down with that second missile. Yeah, I could have pushed this. I was kind of indecisive. I pushed him up here. Then I thought to myself, okay, I want to push him up here. And I was so indecisive with these guys, I'm not able to get an advantage. If we had the advantage of getting in here, and we were able to get out to the point where we're on the edge of the woods and allow him to fight in the woods, I could have moved the Fallschirmjäger Metis up in this area as well and pushed them back. We would have held this line across the board, but ultimately this is still a good place to stall them as well. Large open field. So we do push one Jaeger in there and the Strela, trying to get that Kiowa down. And this Jaeger does do a little work against this M113. Is going to be hit by this Jaeger. We're going to move him in after they're stunned. He's going to take a shot, and it's going to be routed, which means it's going to fall back, and then this Jaeger can take it. I did move this one into these woods, but this Abrams is just not a bad, is a bad raw deal. Engineer's Dragon not going to be able to hold up against the Fallschirmjägers. They have special forces and shock, so they're going to take less suppression. These Fallschirmjägers are going to go down though. Trying to get across. Abrams takes a shot. Their commands back here. We get this Jaeger over here, and I'm thinking maybe we can get this Fallschirmjäger on this side to hit it from the side, but it's going to take them a while to actually get there. Elsewhere, a big push with M48s on the left side here, and Davis will eventually take care of that. And then on the right, one of the biggest failures is he didn't secure his right flank over here for ODST, so Olnair is able to grab the right side of this and kind of funnel through this road and push them out ultimately, which kind of forces pressure down and through here. And our stagnation allows pressure to be applied elsewhere. We're going to bring in an AT. We're going to kill that Abrams. Jaeger was taking its sweet time. This Jaeger is going to take out another M113. It's going to be difficult for it to deal with those dragons, but maybe it's there. We pull the SU-22 over to see if we can see anything else, and I'm not seeing it. And then we eventually turn it this way. We see these tanks. We're going to see if we can get a shot. He doesn't, because we have him circling back here. We're going to bring in a T-80B. Going to be further solidifying this area because the T-55 cannot pen an Abrams. Jaegers over here. I should have probably placed this infantry division as opposed to be out here in the open. These Jaegers are slowly losing to this engineer's dragon. We see the command here, so we're going to bring this AT and we're going to take it down. And although, oh, okay, the second missile doesn't come in because of the tree coverage. So that was a good bit there. They had 1 point ticking towards theirs. That should flip at 1 point to us. So we're going to have a ticking score until he brings in another command. Jaeger Metis harassing the Abrams on the right side. We're harassing every bit as we can. This one has to smoke out, move back and replenish. This Jaeger goes out with all of these engineered dragons around him, so kind of sucks there. We're thinking, since this is stagnated, before this one kind of goes down, because it will, since this is stagnated, the fighting is going to be on the right side of the woods and the left. So we start flooding infantry in here. I keep getting the Metis ready for any issues here because this off Claire can actually see the Abrams. Has a good line of sight through the road, just not on the far end. But this off Claire out here will have a good line of sight if they pop out of these trees. Get a T-55 here, another T-55. T-80 is waiting in the woods. We can always pop it out here and take some shots if we need to. I saw that cable coming on the left side, so that's when I start doing this. And we're gonna have the units come on the left side, getting a T-64 BV to be another one on the line that can look down this road in case this Abrams comes down. This assault was taken down and done, so Davis is going to move into these trees. So we'll have a pretty good line of command in the mountains here. Elsewhere, the struggle is real for here. Eventually there'll be a flood of infantry that come down here and push them off the point. It's unfortunate. So this is our MiG-23. We kept it in mission far too long, but it's going to eventually get out because it runs out of fuel as opposed to being shot down. I'm terrible at all of that. We see this dragon coming in here, so he's loading offloading infantry over here, but I'm feeling fine with what I have because we're gonna boost it up with some motor shoots in, and then we'll have some good bit of Jaeger Metis that has their shock and elite status, and then also backed up with the motor shoots in. Whenever we have to drop back a Metis, we move back, move up a motor shoots in to kind of cover. We take this A2, we take that Abrams out, and there is a bunch of AA back here. Stinger pokes, trying to just see where we are. And we show it only T-55s because this T-64 is going to be back here. So that was a kind of a bait. We're trying to get him to come across the field. Because if you come across the field, this T-64 is going to start wrecking. This T-80 will have this Conquerors here with a BMP. It is absolute death if he comes across this field. We just could not bait him across. So Davis over here probing the right side. We are moving hard on the left in this mountain. Abrams shows his face here. He's going to see the off Claire. We're going to have to move the off Claire back and replenish it. We're going to take this Jaeger Metis that was over here. We're going to put him in this area. I should have put him probably on the edge of these woods, but he wouldn't actually have sight. So maybe over here would have been best to put him over where the off Claire was, but I didn't think about it because it is an elite infantry unit. We definitely need him in the fight that's going to be in the trees. Make contact on the left side. Just some M113As. Metis cannot actually handle that, so our motor shoots in. who just arrived, has the rockets. And there goes down one vehicle. The SPW is going to slowly move up. We're going to replace it with this menace so we can kind of just hold the line. Another one that goes down, looking to take down that dragon, and there it goes. So he gets finally another command in here. The Abrams starts taking shots at the off clear, so we're going to move him back and repair. We only have infantry. So there's Engineer Flash and this Fire Team AT4. Fire Team AT4 has 6 people, and so we're thinking from here, hey, this AT4 is here. It does take out that SPW, but yeah, this SPW is going to be shooting at the middle. So we're going to move up this Jaeger Menace, trying to just bait them in a little bit more. Bait them in. AT4 is looking. Motorshooting is still falling back. We're going to use this Menace, put him in these woods, and we're going to counterattack with this Menace on their flank. Still shooting at us here. We move back. We're going to repair. And here comes the 2 Jaeger Menace. They're going to press the fire teams after they've been healed. We're going to move the motor shoots them back to repair. And we're going to push it. We're going to get in a 30 mil in here as a support. So when they push the line and initiate contact, the 30 mil opens up and we just essentially counterattack with our infantry. Elsewhere, we are holding on the right, slowly but surely. Also, one of his downfalls is he is mainly going helo, and so he tries to bring up some helos up in this area and they get shot down. So that kind of is a telltale sign that he did not have as many helos. That HE would have been better used on the leopards, to be honest. All right, now this attack, we see these engineers Flash coming up, and we have a Washutsen, a couple of Jaegers coming in, and we do some great stuff over here. So we pull back the Polmashinki, and we're gonna move up the Rozitka, and we're gonna keep this gap here. Because the Motorshutsen in the, or actually the Jaeger and the Washutsen, we're gonna form a bowl here. So when they attack, we'll be able to hold them in that. That's the idea. Engineer's Flash coming across here. We're just repairing. Nothing crazy. We're going to keep this line static for pretty much the rest of the game on this, but we have some good plays in the forest and a good play over here. Some good micro. I'm getting the hang of everything. Getting the hang of it. Especially the forest. Not so much the city fighting, but the forest fighting. Definitely getting it. Davis is doing a good push in the middle. He's going to take command of this area. It is equalized right now. Nothing crazy. We had 2 points against their 2 points, and then the third point in the middle. But some good pushes there. And here it is. So the Flash comes in. This right here is a Cobra. It's going to hit our Polmashinki. I didn't actually invest a lot into anti-air. So Jaegers are going to close this gap. This AT4 is here. We're going to close it even more with this Ravitka. The Washutsen is going to stay here. Polmashinki is going to close down the backside. And we have a couple more coming in. I didn't want them to use this road, but they did. Jaeger is going to close this in. And then we're going to essentially trap all of these guys in here. Now, the Polmashinki is going to die. Of course, it's taking majority of the Engineer Flash's rounds up in the north, but at this point, they have none left, or a couple left. And now here's where we push in. Jaeger is going to come in, shoots in, and here is where we close the gap. So Engineer Flash is going to come down. Dragons are going to come down. The Cobra is going to come down here, take some shots at the 30 mil, but we're going to bring in this Mi-24, and it's going to harass this Cobra to get it out of here. We lose one Jaeger there. There's the Mi-24. It's going to take some shots. But it's just... This is a 20 mil from the Cobra. And this is a 23 mil, so eventually I'll take it down. We'll chase it over the mountain and take a loop back around. Nothing crazy. We're gonna get up Estrella because of that though, and we'll be able to heal these up. So we're gonna have 30 mil out here, and we're gonna have this stagnate as a force. Eventually we end up losing this side and putting a recon perimeter here in case they walk across this field, but they don't press it all that hard because it gets kind of messy in the middle as time goes on. So we have a ticking 3 right now, equalized on the right. The push from the right from here is starting to go down, so that +3 is going to go away rather quickly. But good moves here by Davis. A lot of units though in here. If there's someone that goes a lot of artillery span, like later on in the game we see a lot of it. If someone did it earlier, I mean, Davis is totally done in the middle. But there was arguably not much artillery at the start of the game, so I think there was no real issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a bunch of aircraft, and we're going to see where we can help in the middle. See if we can unstagnate this. So here comes 2 of the HE bombers. We're going to drop some bombs over here, which will then allow Davis to kind of move and take this position. So first one's going to come in. Mi-21. Bombs get away. They're short, but they do get away. This one comes in. Those ones are right on target, but he goes down. Next one, we're going to have this one go in those woods where that was a leopard. And then we cover it all with that anti-air, which we then get out. So while we lose all 3 of those planes, that's some good damage here. And I think we ended up taking a tank out right here. So what that allows is Davis is going to start resupplying and moving up. And it gets them some time where they have to resupply here so we can take this area. So not the worst thing. Fire team AT4, we're going to have the SPW come up, tank a couple shots while we get the rest in, and it actually goes down. Engineer Flash taking some shots. Motor shoots in, staying out of range. We're going to bring out 1 Metis, and this motor shoots in here to hit them in their flank. We're going to bring up the 30 mil, and the 30 mil is going to start hitting the engineers. Well, they were. We lost sight of them for a second. So we're going to get the Jaeger Metis up and going. They're just retreating faster than a 30 mil and catch up. But our infantry are going to be pressing that. Motor Schützen is going to press both of these along with the Metis. We're going to move back this Motor Schützen back to heal, and we'll bring them all to heal. Pretty good one. I think we eliminated 1 there. So we're going to see a push here by Davis. He was ready for it at this point. At this juncture, we're going to see a lot of infantry come in here, and this is the issue. So a lot of the Mi-8s coming in and dropping them off. I would not recommend this. Flying into hostile territory, because this is what happens. Okay, bad example. Those 2 weren't shut down, but eventually he does get a couple that are shot down back over here. So let's say with a helo push like that, you want to do that early game as opposed to mid to late game. Unless you're trying to push, like if he did a push like that for golf, it would work. Get a command in here, because the command likely isn't even in here. Yeah, there's not a command in here. So if you went over here and rushed this and got it and then brought troops from this, you would essentially hold this. But it only goes as long as you can hold that sector. Probably isn't long. Once they neutralize it, you can't really bring units from there. So it's a gamble. We're starting to see Leopard 2A3s in the middle, and our man here, Davis, is doing absolute work. We brought in that napalm that was strike against infantry here. We stunned a couple of them. But this is just a magnificent line. And then this forest is good. So I do spread these out, but eventually these all get taken down. We get a ticking 3 right now. Despite the fact that our guy on the right is getting absolutely hammered right now. This is worth 2. I don't think anyone owns this. Okay, now they got it. So yeah, no one actually owned that. That was strange. So they, oh, that's right. His command was back here. If you would have kept his command back here, we would have had a ticking 3 for much longer. So that's another thing, is don't keep your command at the front. When it's an infantry command, keep it in the back. I'm learning things. A lot of indirect fire in the form of mortars coming in. Starting to see some artillery this time. We bring in a cluster, and we're trying to get these down here, which is the ones kind of messing around with the landing. But little did I know, it is so all over the place here that you're not going to take it. There's the Kiowa. We're trying to get the Strela up here. It's going to run into some forces, and the edge of this with the Rasputin, the Jaeger, and the Razvitka here is going to be killed. But it happens. Middle, we're holding well. We're holding strong. So at this point, once you're losing this, I think from here you start defending from here. I'm always troubled, and I'm always never sure when I should have another, like when I should fall back completely in a way. But sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. That comes in, we do get some damage on the tanks, but we don't kill one. We're gonna loop back around. This MiG-27 is gonna come in and strike here. And we're gonna strike at one of their tanks. Another stun, but they don't die. So that's unfortunate. SU-24 doesn't do what it, or 22 doesn't do what it needs to do. So he gets this T-64 in, we go back to a 3. But this T-64 is gonna get absolutely obliterated here. We're fighting in the middle. Just started contact here, and this is what that 30 mil can do. Despite the fact that the mech rifles first contact was a 30 mil and killed 3 off that, the mech rifles took major damage. And now with the reinforcements of some more motor Schutzen and some SPW-70s, we actually start moving up the Jaeger Metis to hit the flanks. And here it is. The Dragons with the mech rifles can't actually fire this close. So our SPWs are able to just sit in close quarters like this and take shots, because they can't be killed by Dragons that close. I don't know what the minimum is. Good press here by Davis. We're gonna press this all the way to the end now. And we know they only have Engineer's Flash at this point. There are some Dragons there, and we need to close the gap if we're gonna take them. This motor Schutzen done repairing, so we're gonna move it up. We're gonna move up another supply eventually in this Euro. As long as we can close the gap with the vehicles, we're fine. So that push has happened over on the left side, and they're moving infantry around, so we end up pulling this 30 mil back. Each Jaeger holds as an early warning. This Strela moves back, and then the supply moves back as well. And we have this Mi-24 back here. In case they come across, it will tear them up. So we lost the right side completely at this point. I told them, hey, just hold this position. I'm not sure why. And it made it more entertaining at the end. But on there does not actually push this point. He pushes into this point to assist, which made the match a bit more interesting. If he would have just pressed this and then taken this, like, there's no way me and Davis can really counter that. He just takes the board. So big pushes here. Sunman trying to keep up momentum. This BTR has to pull back because there's a lot of forces coming in here. BMP 3s up here. The Sapri RPOs trying to do some work, but these are only incendiary rockets. I can't deal with Martyr 1s. Massive amount of tanks, BMPs taking shots all over the place. A bunch of rockets flying. We also have a mortar piece back here. This is where I tell him, hey, just hold this one. We're at 1768, nothing crazy. So the push here, Davis pushes it in, and at this point, I'm saying, okay, we need some T-80s and stuff like that. But we're gonna get up a tank line here, and then here with commands. And we are going to push this, and it becomes epic. So we're gonna bring in this cluster. Go back here. This laser guide bomb from the MiG-27 is gonna come in, and that's gonna hit the Leopard, not kill it, but be close. This cluster is gonna wave off to go back here from these M60s. He comes in, gets the bomb off. It is gonna die though, because he can't easily traverse this mountain, so he's got to come on this side, and he does die. This MiG-24 does kill tank. Wild Weasel coming through. Does take a round, but good shots all around. We're gonna bring in a napalm now to go over here. Took a napalm strike here. He does get it off. We do kill one. It does get away though, which is nice. M48 push here. We've not yet called in all of the things. And ODST lost a lot of force in here. All he really had was tanks. New craft coming in. It's going to be another napalm. Gonna come down. It's going to get his payload down, and there is 4 infantry units dead. It ends up going over the other point though, which is full of AA. It's a good bit there. We pull up our Jaeger Metis. They can see the edge if these tanks exit across here, so they're forced down this road itself, which is good. So we've pushed all the way out here. I've kind of put a defensive perimeter in this, and so here is the middle of what we need to do. So we're gonna bring in a couple BMPs with some Mashinki out here. We're gonna pull them in so we can fire on the flanks. And this was a good setup for this 100 mil. SU-22 comes in, takes a couple of shots, doesn't kill that Milan, and I think it only damages that tank, so that's unfortunate. We recap this, so we have 1 point going. This was neutralized, I think. Still moving. A lot of forces come across this middle. We're starting to see Holner as well with his stuff come over, try to help. Now here comes Sunman with a massive push. We're gonna bring in an MI8 rocket. I mean, we're gonna bring it up over here to deal with the infantry, but I think it ends up going down because I'm not paying attention to it. A martyr push. Okay. Going by the MI-24 AA. Seed comes in. It's going to turn to the right, which is going to be over us, but we don't have a lot of AA. We do damage it. Holner comes in with his F3, and it's going to take down the first one. And here comes the T-80s. We are going to bust in a bunch of T-80s and a T-64 BBK, and we're also going to get a T-80, a T-80, a T-64, and a T-55, I think, in the middle. So rockets are there. Actually, they did some work. It does ultimately get taken down, but it takes down 3 units. There's Davis's T-80Bs. Okay. Slowest aircraft ever. Okay, good shots. We had a good little crossfire going. HE comes in, that Leopard's down. A good shot. Another missile coming through. We're still waiting for our T-80s. And what I mean by a lot of T-80s, this is a lot of T-80s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 T-80s, 2 T-64 BBKs, and we still have some T-55s. And that's because we're stagnant over here. I felt good defensively of where we were. There's no fear of me losing the command. So we're going to put it all on the line. So he puts a help beacon over here. He's going to push his T-80s. And I do tell him in chat of, hey, I'm getting ready for a big push. So kind of do your thing. We're just going to wait. Waiting. Another T-64 coming through. And all he's holding here is a T-64 and an Akula. That's it. We should have lost that right side. So a lot of M113s with some dragons in there. T-80 gonna poke its head out. There's also a Leopard here. So one of those is down. We're going to spread out along this line, and then we're going to push up like this. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to push up like this. And this T-64 is going to get on the corner of this. They were at a +5 right now because they were able to neutralize this. T-80 over here is going to get hit by this rifle's law. We're going to smoke out. We're going to bring up our T-80s and our T-64, and we're going to start pounding the infantry in the tree line. We're going to force it out. This T-80, we have some Abrams that we saw come across the field. We hide this T-80 so if they do end up making it over here, we can pull it in to see the Abrams. We're gonna bring in the Mi-24. It's gonna take a shot. It's gonna miss it because they smoke out, and that's gonna be it from that Su-24 or 22. T-80's coming in, a bunch of Milans here. There's gonna be a lot of shots. We get it in here and we immediately smoke it. Immediately. So that means it cannot be seen at this point. T-80 has to reveal. All this infantry is revealed. Our T-80 and our T-64 down here doing work. AT comes in to take down that Leopard. T-64 gets hurt. T-80 does not take a hit there. And we're just firing away at the dragons. We have a T-55 and two T-64s back here to kind of follow up with. Good bit from the Kula here, and we do end up taking this down because I think we end up routing him. I think it was right here, possibly, or right here, and one of the shots that's a retreat. The RT-64 here goes down, so this is back to neutral. We're to a ticking 1 until they take it. Now they're back to a ticking 2. Still holding this, but we know that's just something to delay them, if anything. Move these T-80s up and the T-64 and the T-80 to see this martyr. Pretty much ensuring they can't do much. I didn't see that Abrams back there, the command Abrams. We're gonna pull this Polmashenki up to the law. I forget to move this one up or the motor shoots him because we could probably win that if we pushed it. BMP is gonna poke its head out, start taking some shots to rifles and whatever else it sees. That push from the T-80s here is done and over and killed. We're gonna have the T-64s come in. We're gonna bring in a bunch of T-55s from the side because that's all we have left at this point. This AT comes in, hits one of the M48s and gets hit by a SAM, so it's gonna move back to base. This T-64, while hurt, is holding. This ODST had a command back here as well. He's moving his T-80s and he moves actually a BTR, was that a BTR 60 up in that woods? And from here, hey, we gotta support him. T-80s move up, we move our T-80s, move up this T-64 over here so we can see if we can get a line of sight through this. And we're off to the races once again with a push. Drastic game at this point. Starting to see Leopard 1s. That T-80 goes down, but we do take down that mortar. And it went down from this bad boy who starts taking shots at us as well. It is a Cobra. That Milan goes down. We're gonna move up this T-64 to be able to look through this gap and hit anything. It sees some leopards. It's gonna take a shot. It's gonna get hit. The shot misses. We're looking for a better view. It does go down, but it does at least hit the Leopard 2A3. We lost this tank to this tow Cobra. And we're back to the point where it's just taking down tanks. A lot of motor striking metis. Camdo's over here with his Abrams command vehicles. Takes one, it takes another. And I think it's going to take another round. Oh, it does smoke. And that likely holds their command vehicle. Rocket coming through. Tries to take out our T-64, but ultimately it's in one health still. It goes down. We're going to move up these T-64s and this T-55. Big move with the Su-25s. That goes down. A couple of shots go at the tow Cobra. We're at a 1 ticking score right now. I think we saw the other command vehicle here. Another one comes in here, and so I mark it, but I also move my T-64s over here and the T-55. It can't be something that's insane. Davis is going to move his MI-8 to spot it. We're going to bring up this supply to heal this T-64. We're going to take this Jaeger. We're going to shove it in the corner of this while we're moving our T-55s. Now here is the real push. A bunch of Leopard A1s and some T-55s. I mean, T-55s have a pen of 4. The Leopards have a pen of 16 with 7 armor. 10 armor. I mean, the T-55s are a tad bit better. And now we are on hunt move on the flanks. We end up killing this with our T-64. We're going to move up and we're going to make essentially a little mini L. We're moving this Jaeger back and forth away from this BTR so the artillery can't hit us both. T-55s are going to start taking, well, firing a lot of shots in these woods. A couple more Leopards there. Shots from the T-55s on the Grenadier Carl Gustav. This is takedown, I think, from a Martyr, which does make sense. It only has 10. Oh, it's actually a Leopard. We can't actually pen that. 2 Leopard, 2 A3s. I did not realize that's what we were facing there. T-55s, though, still going strong. One more shot at the Leopard. Another shot at the Leopard before that one goes down. This T-55 and the T-64 start taking shots. And 1 second to victory, and there it is. A crazy push. An absolute crazy push in the middle. Obviously, we have the most losses because we were just throwing tanks away in the middle, but it was insane. So we start out with a Jaeger, taking out a couple M113s. SU-22 took out an Abrams. That command that allowed us to have a ticking 3 from the start, or maybe a 4, which was big, and it took out a couple Leopards, Leopard 2 and a Leopard 1. A couple Dragons, this Abrams by this SU-22. Some more M113s. A couple more with the Motorschützen. BP-1 with the Dragons. A couple Fireteam AT-4s. Some Flash, Fireteam AT-4s, some Rangers. Just a bunch of infantry that we've taken down. The Mi-24 VP did have some engineers they took down. So pretty good there. Motorschützen, this one took down some infantry and a couple M113 Dragons. This one with the cluster took down 2 M60s. Fliegerfaust from the Mi-8, so that was on the middle. A bunch of Martyrs, a bunch of Panzer Grenadiers, some engineers, or Martyrs, Milan. Abrams here with this T-80. A Leopard 2 for the T-64 BVK. That's good. That's good. This T-64 took out mech rifles and some Panzer Grenadiers. The Mi-48 was taken out by a BMP-1. More infantry, some Panzer Grenadiers, Martyr Leopard, Stinger, a couple more Dragons, and a couple more Leopards. So, pretty intense game there on Danger Hills. Pretty close. An epic tank push. Pretty much 2 tank pushes. Just kind of pushing carelessly, but on the flank, which was pretty good, we were able to hold it and actually get that ticking score up. So that'll be it for today. Thank you all for joining me. Go ahead and leave a like below, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Later.